Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shadow, the internet personality with the best hair, and while I covered The Matrix a few weeks back, that is an entirely different topic from the Matrix sequels. Not exactly the easiest films to talk about. Yes, we have a fourth one that's either coming or already here, depending on how quickly I can edit this video and fight YouTube's broken copyright enforcement system. But not only did the second and third movies come out back-to-back, effectively being one massive Matrix movie split into two parts, that's barely scratching the surface on the added lore. Before this movie came out, we got Enter the Matrix, a video game tie-in that canonically linked the first and second movies, and we also got The Animatrix, a gargantuan collaboration, amalgamation of animation that is also canon. Sometimes. But the point is, I'm a movie reviewer, so if you'll excuse me, we'll be looking at the movie. The Matrix Reloaded, a Matrix sequel that does what sequels do best. Retcon a few pesky details that would kind of get in the way, and hope nobody notices as they get what they want. More Matrix, with more action, more effects, and most importantly, more philosophical rhetoric, questioning the very nature of the Matrix, the One, the Oracle, and even the word "the" if you give it the chance. But do they really need to split it into two movies? Well, this one by itself, its running time is damn near 2.5 hours, so probably. Anyway, let's take a look at The Matrix Reloaded and see how far the rabbit hole goes. We start off with a bang. As Trinity is shown up for the awesome, explosive opening action scene, still played by Carrie-Anne Moss. Her ass-kickery segues into her smashing through a window, bullet time flying all over the place as she does battle in midair with a dastardly agent. Up until it friggin' shoots her. But it was all just a dream! Man, that phrase gets a lot of mileage in this series. Trinity's fine. It's just one of those annoying recurring nightmares that Neo's been having. More importantly, we need to reintroduce the Nebuchadnezzar, its captain, Morpheus, played by Lawrence Fishburne, and the new operator, Link, played by Harold Perrineau. Link isn't super enthusiastic about Morpheus's just do the crazy thing and hope we don't die method of command, but he's trying. Besides, can't take the long way around right now. They're already late for their Matrix Zoom meeting, being led by Niobe, played by Jada Pinkett Smith.
They're boring from the surface straight down to Zion.
Mother.
Bad news, the machines have started drilling towards Zion. Yeah, the last movie did make it seem like the machines really didn't know where Zion was, and just getting into the Zion mainframe was a major plot point that they really had to work hard to make sure the machines didn't do, but now fuck it, who says you can't drill straight down? Ghost, the other playable character from Enter the Matrix, is also here, played by Anthony Brandon Wong, but he's not much more than set dressing in this movie. Anywho, Morpheus and friends show up fashionably late, just in time to hear about that 250,000 Sentinels on their way to murder everyone in Zion in less than 48 hours.
Does the commander have a plan for stopping 250,000 Sentinels?
A strategy is still being formulated.
That's a no. Morpheus does have a plan, though, that being that the prophecy says they'll be fine, so just chill, everyone. We gotta talk to the Oracle, and then everything will just work out. However, Neo senses something and heads off to find out what it was. Evidently, someone dropped off a gift for him, saying he set them free. And a bunch of agents show up to give us another action scene.
Upgrades.
Oh, that's right, they can just patch in the Matrix. Oh, Neo's clearly OP. I'm looking forward to when they nerf the hell out of him. After kicking all the asses and taking all the names, Neo flies off right before Agent Smith meets up with Agent Smith, and he zooms through the air ridiculously fast in order to stop by an apartment.
Where are you?
Oh, right. As they need to talk to the Oracle, of course, she would be missing. For reasons. I guess that means it's time to call it a day and return to Zion. And in terms of world building and visual effects showcases, this is an absolutely gorgeous sequence. Gotta love seeing sci-fi tech that looks old and worn. But that doesn't change the fact that Morpheus' disregard for direct orders gets him in hot water. And his superior is dating his ex. Things are quickly getting Kojima levels of complicated in here. On that note, hey, Neo is a goddamn superhero, so naturally he has his very own adoring fan. Kid, played by Clayton Watson.
Next year I'm old enough to join a crew, right? I've been thinking a lot about it, and I've made my decision.
Let me guess.
I want to join the Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, kid, that's right. Dream big. Nobody can stop you from doing whatever the hell it is that you want. Just be careful that while you're net running, no one goes behind you and unplugs you. It happens kind of often on that ship. Neo doesn't outright tell him to go fuck himself sideways, but let's just say the enthusiasm is only going one way here. But how is Morpheus doing with that whole disrespect of authority thing? Not bad. While the head honcho of Zion's military doesn't appreciate Morpheus' actions, the higher-ranking head honchos of Zion entirely are like, it's cool. Audiences like Morpheus. In fact, let's ignore the military dude and ask the random captain what he thinks we should tell the people about the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of machines drilling down right now to kill us all.
The truth. No one will panic, because there is nothing to fear.
I mean, it's just a movie. Morpheus' reasoning is because the prophecy says they'll be fine, so fuck it, they'll be fine. I mean, we have Technopocalypse Jesus on our side. I think it's safe to say you can expect a miracle at this point. So hey, just so y'all know, we kinda got a teensy little issue with an absolutely enormous army of murder Roombas coming down to annihilate the human resistance once and for all. But that only sounds like a reason to party! Smack those drums and get down like there's no tomorrow. As, there kinda isn't. And this goes on for quite some time. Lots of nipples tatted around. And more importantly, Neo and Trinity fucking. But yeah, Trinity's O face is kind of like when she dies, so. And I guess if I have a heart attack, it's gonna be like. Just in case I forgot about that little premonition, but more importantly, we see a couple Matrix runners running around, talking about the very important things they're trying to do. One escapes, but before the other can go, Agent Smith pokes his chest and horrifyingly takes over the poor bastard's body. Yeah, they can do that now, I guess. Might be important later. For now, we gotta get more philosophical dialogue out with Neo and Counselor Hammond, played by Anthony Zerbe. Nothing too deep, just, hey, you know how the machines depend on humans for power? Well, how ironic down here in Zion, we power the whole place with machines. Who's really in control, huh? Neo's like, well, we could turn them off, and he's like, but that would be hard, so can we really? And I just gotta interject, yes, you can, and yes, that is control. Moving to Texas wasn't easy. Becoming a YouTuber wasn't easy and safe, and there was lots of reasons not to do it. But it was my life, and I was in control, so I said fuck it and did it, and that is freedom. But what was that oh-so-important thing from before? From the Oracle, evidently, so they gotta ship out. Also, remember that Smith jump? Well, there's a human running around Zion right now that just so happens to be extra psychotic at the moment, but he's still gotta stay in the background for the time being. We gotta head back to the Matrix. Neo follows the directions and finds Seraph, played by Colin Chow, whom glows golden in code vision.
But first I must apologize. Apologize for what? For this.
Another fight scene. Just for the sake of it. The whole human race lies in the balance, and this is some very time-sensitive shit we're trying to do here, but let's just stop for a random sparring match. Well, at least you apologize for it.
I had to be sure.
Of what?
That you are the one. Could have just asked. No, you do not truly know someone until you fight them.
Okay, this man can fucking fly, yet all it took was a few punches and kicks to convince you? Well, on with the show. They take the back door, heading into what I can only assume is one of the Matrix's root directories, and popping out in the presence of none other than the Oracle, once again played by Gloria Foster. You know how this works, she doesn't say too much but exudes charm. Seems she and Seraph are both programs, kind of like the agents, but doing different jobs for the Matrix. This means Neo doesn't know if he can trust her, but that's spoiler territory, so she leaves it open for now. Besides, this is more of a scene about the illusion of free will.
How can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
Listen, I was drunk, there was probably something in that cupcake, and she told me there was no strings attached. She does explain to the audience some new Matrix lore. Ghost stories and legends are tied to glitches in the Matrix, don't you know? Vampires, werewolves, Sonic EXE, all programs that are kind of fucking up. Just so you understand the rest of the movie. So, got stuff to do. There's this Keymaker guy, and you're gonna need their help. Gotta meet up with this different program who is holding him captive, though, and see where that leads you. But before you can go, Smith shows up. And we were just talking about programs that aren't working quite right. Seems when Neo killed him in the last movie, he was supposed to be deleted, but somehow had the power not to, and instead learned the dark secret of Control-C, Control-V.
Because of you, I've changed. I'm unplugged. A new man, so to speak. Like you, apparently free.
You may be the one, Mr. Anderson, but I am now the divide by zero. As such, Neo finds himself surrounded by quite a damn few Agent Smiths, and they do battle! Another long battle. Though it was visually quite the spectacle at the time. At the time, CGI ages very poorly in film, and this was 2003. Arguably, the Unreal Engine 5 Matrix experience on PlayStation 5 and Xbox looks better than this. Over 5 goddamn minutes of agent punching later, and Neo just says fuck it and leaves. Seems that touches Smith feels something kinda like death. But more importantly, the Nebuchadnezzar has been out all night, and Daddy Locke is very upset that they ignored the curfew. In his expert opinion, they need every last ship they have if they hope to fend off the robot army.
I do not believe our defense can suffer the loss of another ship.
It will, Commander, if it must.
It could take a single ship days to find the Nebuchadnezzar.
Then send two.
I'm starting to feel bad for Locke. I've yet to see a single soul in all of Zion that gives the slightest shit what this man has to say. So, 2 captains volunteer. Captain Soren, the miscellaneous expendable character played by Steve Bastoni, and Captain Niobe, so we can have some relationship drama just to keep this eternal war between man and machine interesting. The heroes, in the meantime, are following that lead that the Oracle gave them, showing up that dangerous program who is holding the Keymaker captive, the Merovingian, played by Lambert Wilson. He knows they've come for the Keymaker, but there's something about that. Keymaker makes keys, keys open doors, doors go places. Do they even know where they're trying to go? No, that hasn't been covered yet.
There is only one constant, one universal. It is the only real truth. Causality.
But please enjoy another 5-minute lecture about cause and effect. Now screw it, I'm fast-forwarding this. Simply put, shit happens because shit happens. His example is that when he serves a random woman some code-laced dessert, her eating it means he has successfully hacked her libido. I can't wait for his tutorial video on that one.
Now I have some real business to do, so I will say adieu and goodbye.
This isn't over.
Nope, please, Neo, don't have him launch into a diatribe about the philosophical means of things coming to an end that ironically won't ever seem to. Simply put, they have no reasons to have the Keymaker, so they can't have him. But on their way out, who should happen to stop them but the Merovingian's wife, Persephone, played by Monica Bellucci. You want some cause and effect? Well, here's some cause and effect. Old Metroidvania hasn't been satisfying his wife, which means she's willing to throw him under the bus for some of the one's hot Jesus cock.
Terrible. Forget it.
Goddamn, I gotta get this right. The human race is depending on me. Take 2 is considerably more passionate, and Persephone agrees to help them acquire the Keymaker. She shows them to Merovingian's massive mansion, and the werewolf, vampire, miscellaneous supernatural buddies they got. Shoots one and instructs the other to alert everyone about that. I mean, she could have just shot him too. They find the Keymaker seconds later, played by Randall Duck Kim. But if she doesn't let the other live and instruct him specifically to go tell on her, then he wouldn't have shown up with a bunch more goons to do battle with Neo. That's right, not only are we getting another ridiculously long action sequence out of this, but the setup makes it plainly obvious it was optional from the get-go. Either way, while Neo fights most of them, the Keymaker runs for his life, along with Trinity and Morpheus. However, the twins, played by Adrian and Neil Raymond, pursue them. They got the ghosty powers. And as I said, the CGI really doesn't age well. I feel like one of the reasons it worked so well in the first movie is it was used sparingly, and as a result, some suit walks in like, hey, everyone really liked the CGI in that movie. For the sequel, load it up with CGI. This completely optional action sequence continues for 15 goddamn minutes. And if only Persephone had the foresight to just shoot the other guy. Trinity, Morpheus, and the Keymaker flee from the baddies, but Neo has to take the long way around, as he doesn't have those handy-dandy teleporter keys to work with, and evidently forgot how Matrix exits and entrances work to boot. The chase scene is quite the spectacle, but as impressive as it is visually, it runs into the big problem of the fact that, as I said, it's 15 goddamn minutes. And what's the important plot-relevant stuff that transpires? After all the running, shooting, driving, crashing, katana duels, and explosions, Neo swoops in to save the Keymaker. But hey, if you ever needed an action scene that gave you enough time to get up and use the bathroom several times, well, there you go. Anyway, now that we're over an hour and a half into this movie, might as well hear exactly what the fuck we're trying to do here. The Keymaker explains that if they need him, then there's a pretty specific reason for that. You see, he can make keys to anywhere, but there is one place in particular that they can only reach through the power of the Keymaker, and that is the Source. Which is also one of those heavily guarded video game towers that has fail-safes out the wazoo. But it should be fine if they can knock out all the power for, like, the entire city. That'll give 5 minutes or so, which means it's awfully convenient that they have 3 captains here. That's the perfect amount for this particular operation.
How do you know all this?
I know because I must know. It is my purpose.
Look, lady, the movie doesn't work unless someone has this information, so just roll with me, okay? So everyone gets ready to do their part. Arguably the most important job being knocking out the power. If that fails, the fail-safes kick in, blow everything up, and kill everyone else. Naturally, that means the emergency power job goes to Team Miscellaneous, but wouldn't you know it, the Sentinels have found their little hovercraft, and have also modified their strategy, staying well out of EMP range, to instead throw a bomb at them! God, it's so annoying. Start a big online mission only for a third of your team to just disconnect right at the start. So while Niobe and friends manage to blow the power plant the fuck up, and Neo and pals slip into the portal, oh, darn it, that emergency power system wasn't disabled and kicks in. Trinity realizes this means that she must cast away Neo's warnings about her impending death and go into the Matrix to sacrifice herself and save everyone. Yeah, it worked for Neo in the first movie. Now, you'd think that while she replays the opening, Neo wouldn't take all 5 minutes to reach the Source, but remember that handy-dandy army of Smiths? Well, hey, just so happened to show up and delay him long enough for Trinity to knock out the emergency power. Oh, and I guess the Keymaker's not all that important anymore, so he can die.
It was meant to be.
I guess once you already use the crack generator, it's really no loss to just uninstall the thing. He gives Morpheus the key to leave the climax as well, and Neo the key to the door that he will know to open. That door being the way to the Source, and our introduction to the Architect, played by Helmut Baikaitis. He's effectively robot god for the Matrix, the machine mind that created the virtual world to keep the humans imprisoned as their power source. So, hey God, what is the meaning of the one? Why am I here? Simply put, you're a bug, Neo. Yeah, the Matrix is immersive as fuck, but evidently the machines built it on the creation engine. Things almost worked right, but the Matrix just can't function without the illusion of choice, a solution penned by none other than the Oracle. But it kinda sorta results in this one motherfucker popping up now and again. But they can control him, so long as they hold all the human lives in Zion in the balance.
You are here because Zion is about to be destroyed. Its every living inhabitant terminated, its entire existence eradicated.
Bullshit.
I like his options there. Bullshit or bullshit, but louder. But Zion's also like the one, and this ain't the machine's first rodeo annihilating the last bastion of humanity. But hey, this is about choice, right? That illusion of choice. They already know that Neo's gonna do just what the other anomalies did, pick a handful of humans to recreate Zion, and let the cycle begin anew. The machines controlling the Matrix, and humans serving as battery packs until a new one pops up, and blah blah blah, we've heard it all before. However, Neo just says fuck it and leaves. He knows that Trinity went into the Matrix on a suicide mission, and he believes he can swoop in and save the day. I mean, yeah, she got shot, and bullets mean death, but lest we forget Hollywood medicine, he jams his digital hand into her body, forcibly removing the projectile. No bullet, no death.
Trinity.
Ooh. Can you load a quick save or something? Neo does one better, jamming his digihand back into Trinity to pump her heart by hand. Yeah, she knows what it's like to get her organs rearranged. And we've got next to no movie left, and we gotta settle the third one real fast, so let's take a break from all those slow plotting scenes and show that this movie can establish plot points lightning fast if it wants to. First things first, sorry Morph, that prophecy was a bunch of crap and Zion is gonna be destroyed and soon. Before that can happen, though, some squiddies show up and chuck a bomb, destroying the Nebuchadnezzar. But what's this? Neo can feel them even in the real world. He EMP blasts the bot, then collapses into a coma. But speaking of EMP, some darn ship set off the EMP early on the front lines, knocking out most of the human defenses, leaving only one survivor. The Smith-hopped human bastard! To be continued. Whew! At least the cliffhanger was exciting. Anyway, that was The Matrix Reloaded. I enjoyed it a lot more than I remembered, but the more I think about it, the more I realize why I didn't think all that highly of it. While the original Matrix movie wasn't the deepest, it was deep enough and left enough questions that you could have fun speculating what it all meant. The action and visuals were just icing on the cake. The Matrix Reloaded, though, it's like one of those store-bought cupcakes that uses a mountain of icing shaped like a rose, concealing a cupcake that really isn't anything to write home about. The movie has spectacle, in spades. The cinematography doesn't have quite the same style as the original, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. The action is insane, but I can't say it's all that exciting. For one, the more obvious use of CGI keeps reminding me it's just a movie, and two, the scenes go on and on and on, without much to keep it engaging. Fights happen without all that much setup, and they continue mainly as a means to throw visual spectacle at the audience, rather than progress any part of the story. I mean that in the first movie, combat had a little more riding on it than simply the participants die, it's game over. The world was established with the spectacle, the characters made choices that caused the direction of the story to diverge. Skipping to the end of the fight scenes would usually leave you missing important parts of the story. In The Matrix Reloaded, not only can you skip to the ends of the fights and miss nothing, the fights themselves don't even need to happen half the time. You hear the term spectacle for the sake of spectacle thrown around, but I don't think it's ever applied better than it does here. I mean, I like big fights and flying kicks and explosions and the body count rising just as much as the next guy, but there needs to be a bit more to it than that for a movie to really grip me. Unfortunately, it wasn't really easy for this movie to build on itself either, considering from scene to scene characters were introduced, seemed important, and then never showed up again. It almost comes off as a mini-series smushed down into a feature film, if it weren't for the fact that the paper-thin plot could have easily been compressed down into a far shorter running time on top of that. So, I've complained enough, but honestly, the quality of the presentation isn't bad, and I did enjoy sitting down to watch it again. It's been so long I almost forgot everything, so it was like watching it anew. And the movie does have the power to entertain, just in a turn your brain off and admire the pretty explosions kind of way. Coming in at 3 philosophical kicks to the face out of 5. I mainly absolutely love the setup of Zion, the establishing shots, just the dripping with lore and visuals alone, absolutely gorgeous. I just really wish being there would have been a little deeper than, hey, we also rely on machines to live. Ironic, isn't it? Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shadow. And remember, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. So try and make that part something worth not fast-forwarding through. MagicInspiration.com
Bullshit.